6A. Name the group of the periodic table that chlorine belongs to. Now remember, in the exam you will be given a periodic table. So if we look for chlorine symbol Cl, we can see that it is in group 7 of the periodic table, which is also known as the halogens. So the halogens would be another acceptable answer. B. Sodium is in group 1 of the periodic table. Identify a property of sodium. And it asks us to tick one box. So we must remember, even if we tick more than one box, even if one of them is correct, then we won't score the mark. So we're going to need to narrow it down just to one. Let's look at the possibilities. The first one is that it floats on water. And sodium, along with lithium and potassium in group 1, are all low-density metals. They're less dense than water, so they will float on top of it. So that first answer does look like a good one. To be 100% sure, though, let's just check out the other answers. The second one says it doesn't conduct electricity. Well, sodium's in group 1, it's a metal, and metals will conduct electricity well. So that second answer is not going to be correct. The third answer, it's a liquid at room temperature. Well, there's only one metal that is liquid at room temperature, and that's mercury, which used to be used in thermometers. Now, sodium is definitely not mercury, so that third answer again is incorrect and can be ruled out. And our final answer, it's a very unreactive gas. Well, sodium's in group 1, it's a pretty reactive metal. That sounds like that last answer is describing noble gases or group 0. So that's not what we're looking for. So again, that fourth answer we can rule out. So our first answer, it floats on water, is the correct one. C, balance the equation to show the reaction of sodium with water. In chemical reactions, the atoms are rearranged, but atoms themselves cannot be produced and cannot be destroyed. So there has to be the same number of each type of atom before and after the reaction, to the left and to the right of the arrow. So we need to add some balancing numbers to make sure that that's true. Now we can see the lines indicating where balancing numbers may need to be added. Let's check for the sodiums first. On the left-hand side, we've got 1. On the right-hand side, we've got 2. So we're going to need to have another sodium. So if we put a 2 in front of the Na for sodium, we've now got the same number of sodiums, 2, on the left and on the right. So that part of it balances. But we still have an issue with the water, or H2O. Let's have a look carefully. We've got 2 hydrogens on the left-hand side and 2 hydrogens in the sodium hydroxide, the NaOH, plus 2 hydrogens in the hydrogen molecule at the end. So we've got a total of 4 hydrogens on the right-hand side, only 2 hydrogens on the left-hand side. We need 2 more. So we're going to need a balancing number of 2 in order to balance the hydrogens. But of course, that will also affect the oxygen. So let's check that works as well. I've got 2 oxygens on the left-hand side and 2 oxygens on the right-hand side. So the equation now balances for sodium, hydrogen, and oxygen. So we've got everything in the correct proportions. Finally, D, name the compound produced when sodium reacts with chlorine. So when sodium reacts with chlorine, they're going to join together. They're the only 2 elements. So to get the name, we just need to run the 2 elements' names together. So the metal would go first. So our first part of the name will be sodium. And the chlorine's name will change to chloride. So our final answer, we've got sodium chloride.